Guys, if you're in the United States, you are an African American, you don't have an African name, you have an English name. Let us know if you would be willing to change your name and take an African name. We can organize a boat for slaughter and a naming ceremony. Hello brothers and sisters, we've always been talking about Africa and Africans changing their names from the colonial names, pet names and all that, and even their names to their heroes' names and the names of their ancestors. We have been talking about Lake Victoria, Victoria Falls, Cote d'Ivoire, South Africa. We've always been talking about that and celebrating countries like Eswatini, Burkina Faso for changing these names. And just a week ago we saw Burkina Faso celebrate, that is in October 15th, celebrating Thomas Sankara. And during that period they named a street named after the French Charles de Gaulle, but they renamed the boulevard to Thomas Sankara Boulevard. Isn't that beautiful? Let me read what Captain Ibrahim Traore said. I pay tribute to a man of vision, an inexhaustible source who nourishes the aspiration of the African people, particularly those in Burkina Faso, in search of total sovereignty. So, guys, we've always been talking about Captain Ibrahim Traore. And the reason we talk about it is because we see a Thomas Sankara whom we love so much, and we have always applauded for what we did. And Captain Ibrahim Traore has always followed the footsteps of Thomas Sankara, and that's why he's venerating him. Because every time people see Boulevard Thomas Sankara, they'll be like, wow, our hero. They see in another video we did where they are erecting a statue that is 87 meters tall, very big, being done by in honor of Thomas Sankara, and being done by a local architect, Francis Carey.
One thing that I've always been saying about this issue is that if we accept who we are, we name ourselves, our streets, our whatever that belongs
our
to us,
cows, our
everything,
natural resources,
with our own names from our ethnic groups, our ethnic languages,
our ancestors.
Yes, that means that we understand who we are. We are reviving our culture, our way of life, because who knows what Elizabeth means? I mean, who knows? You know, some things you write Street Elizabeth. Probably Elizabeth means some bad, evil thing that, you know, has ever happened to humanity.
Or someone who killed a lot of people.
And then you still honor that Elizabeth. You have that name, you know, every time you pass through Elizabeth, you wonder, why are we having accidents in this road? But you have Elizabeth as your, you know, as the person that is in that road.
Guiding the road.
You know, the spirit of Elizabeth will always live in that road. And you wonder, what is happening in Africa? Why aren't we progressing? Why aren't we in these countries, France, and you find even their airports, even wherever they are written in French, in their own languages. They will never write their things in Swahili. They'll never write their things in Zulu or Xhosa or Ndebele. Do they even care about your languages? Why should we honor these people's languages, names and everything when they do not do the same thing for us? So, Ibrahim Traore, you are going, you know, towards the right direction. In South Africa, we saw you doing this just the other day, even though there was some backlash from from opposition. Why are you using taxpayers' money for such petty things? It might look petty, it's just a street, but it's huge. It does so much for the country. You honoring Thomas Sankara, you putting his name there. In fact, I wish they can use his Burkina Faso name. Was it Burkina Faso name? You know,
that is Isidore Sankara.
Exactly. If they were just to stick to that name, Isidore Sankara, because even in his ancestors recognize him as Isidore. This Thomas is just a name that he was given, you know, by these white people. We don't even know what they mean. So these are the small things that will make a huge impact in your life. Even you as an individual, you might be called William. You don't even know what William means, and you're wondering, why is it that my things are not going the way
Yeah.
they are supposed to? But you are named after William, some white person who was doing this and that. And you find you have the traits of that
so
William.
you are forever a slave.
Exactly. So you forever be a slave to William. And you wonder, why am I stuck in life?
Because actually in the US, the slaves were given the surnames of
their masters.
their masters.
Exactly.
So you remain a slave.
That is it.
So
So they will
does
always
it mean
recognize you.
people in the United States should
They
should give themselves, because now there is
Yeah.
the ancestry.
Yes.
They find the
Trace
ancestry,
your
then you
ancestry.
look for a name that
Exactly.
you resonate
If you
with,
can visit the country, come visit the country.
and
Let
give
them
yourself
give
a
you,
name. Yeah.
you know, in Africa we do slaughtering, you know, they can slaughter a goat or whatever for you, a sheep,
A
and
naming
a
ceremony.
naming ceremony, and then you are renamed, it's like a rebirth of a totally new person from this slave master
Guys,
that you have.
if you're in the United States, you are an African American, you don't have an African name, you have an English name. Let us know if you would be willing to change your name and take an African name. We can organize a goat for slaughter and a naming ceremony in which people who come from all walks of life celebrate your naming ceremony
Yeah.
as you
And you
get
know
a
the
new name.
slaughtering of goats, and it's doing things the right way, because some people believe that I can just get a name and that's it. But there were ways in which even a small kid in Africa was named. There were ceremonies.
The naming ceremony,
It was
it's
something,
meant, the
yeah.
goat, the spilling of blood is meant to keep you firm into the clan, into the tribe, you know, so that the ancestors will now recognize you as one of their children.
And when we lost these things, we lost who we are. We forgot our roots. We forgot. That's the reason why these people can easily come to our countries, invade, and nobody would. Even some of our people will sell us out
Support
because
us,
they are
support
the
them.
Williams of the you know
Yeah,
the
exactly.
masters. So some things are just brought to us by ourselves.
Let us change. Let us follow the steps of Captain Ibrahim Traore and change the colonial masters' legacy on
Ideologies,
Africa.
whatever they
Yeah,
are.
and we forge our own future
Just
for
like Ibrahim
Africa.
Traore is doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.